the pavement, right?
If it's angular resolution, why can we still read like the letters and shit on the ship?
You might learn and figure it out. I promise. Wait a minute, 1 second. 1 second.
Look at this. Now that I'm on the graph, if I were to walk across the street, right, and now that I'm on this like decline here, right, about an inch or two, that's going to kind of be a hill. So anything that goes in that direction, right, it's going to disappear from the bottom up. Why? Because this is blocking. So imagine a wave on the ocean.
Because it's curved.
Or a swell.
Congratulations,
right?
you just
guys know
proved the curve.
Swells are?
Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting Flerf dreams.
Hey folks, how's it going? Curious UK here. So that there is a flat earther named Gene Techman, FE8 or something like that. He's been raging out my comments for gotta be a couple of weeks now. It's quite funny. He's been cooking and booking them, and he's starting to lose his shit. But happened to run into a live stream using here, so I thought we'll sit back and watch, and we'll see what Gene has to say. And I have to say, it's funny. And he ends up actually debunking himself, but he's not smart enough to realize he did. But we're going to go over this and break it down a little bit. You'll see me typing a few things at the bottom, which he never responds to. And then I'll throw little comments in here and there, just to kind of get my 2 cents in, because it's my video and why not. All right, let's get going.
Screaming and laughing like little bitches, right? So what I was going to say was, before the little bitches started screaming, I was going to say, I will be showing information when I compose my data in a video with all of the information to be scrutinized to the fullest degree.
You have them on your profile. We can look at.
So are you deaf, dumb, or blind? Did you not hear what I just fucking said? Are you dumb, bro? I'll say it one more time. I will be presenting my information when I collect all of the data to be scrutinized to the utmost degree.
Okay, so one.
I hope that makes sense to you. Are you going to ask me for the data again, or do I have to tell you one more time? I will present the data when I have it ready for scrutinization.
That's like me going to
right.
I have a feeling he probably will never put this data up of this evidence. He'll keep claiming it, and then he'll probably eventually get called out that much that he'll put something up that'll be half-assed done, and if it's any kind of anything, then he'll probably end up debunking himself, or he'll leave certain information out in which it won't be complete, so that way he can keep his cognitive bias, because that's pretty much what Gene does.
Right? Are you dumb? Right, okay. Are you dumb, deaf, or blind to ask me again? I don't even know why you guys are so stupid. Can you produce it right now, Gene? Can you show me your observation right now? Well, actually, I'm walking my dog.
Yeah, okay. So?
Anything else?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
why don't you guys, why do you guys quit being so stupid? Like, you guys ask dumb questions. You're just arguing to argue.
Passionate.
Just don't be dumb. Hey, Dart, how much does the glow curve per mile? I know how to shut you up. That's right. How much does the glow curve per mile, Dart?
What?
Silence. Golden. That's great.
Now, this is one of Gene's favorite talking points. And the thing is, he's been pointing out loads of times that he kind of uses it wrong. Because he asked in this question here, he asked, what's the curvature of the Earth? Well, curvature is measured in radians, or you can measure it in like degrees of curve, because curvature is measured in degrees. Now, what he's actually referring to is 8 inches per mile squared. And what that actually is the drop off of a tangent from the ground. So an imaginary line going straight out, and then at a certain distance, how much drop there is due to the curvature of the Earth. But it's not how much curvature there is of the Earth. It's how much of a drop off of tangent due to the curvature of the Earth. But the Earth actually curves at 1 degree per 69 miles. That's the curvature of the Earth. I've had this discussion with Gene several times, and he refuses to actually listen to me because he's not the brightest tool in the shed. He thinks he is. He's convinced he is, but that's just cognitive bias. Gene also refuses to accept the fact that 8 inches per mile squared, 8 inches per mile squared, does not take atmospheric refraction into account when making observations of something over the horizon and how much drop we may see and how much we also view. Also, for the fact is when we look at like the over the Earth, we're not looking like straight out like this. We're actually looking towards the horizon. So we're actually looking a tiny bit down because the horizon does not drop to eye level. Don't believe me? Look at one of the videos. One of the top pin videos here, which I measured it with the Theodolite app, and I showed the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. I also used a finder scope that has the crosshairs in it, leveled it with a physical level, and then looked out, and I also showed that the horizon still doesn't rise to eye level. So I used 2 different methods measuring the horizon and proved that it doesn't rise to eye level. So look at other videos there. I have on my page. Yeah, so he refuses to actually accept that. So when you're looking over that, you're actually looking slightly down, and you're looking down, you're actually looking at the horizon, and you're looking beyond that, and depending on how tall something is. So he doesn't realize that's also how we see things off in the distance. It's simple things that flat earthers just can't seem to comprehend. And Gene is definitely one of them.
I know how to shut your mouth.
I didn't. As much as the girl heard been asked that question, he still say, "What? Huh?
Yeah, huh? Who? You really want to know? You really want to know? Well, hold on a second. You really
Are you asking me?
Hold on a second. Put Scotty up. Scotty will tell you. Gene, mate.
Well, look, Gene. So this is what.
Scotty tried. Right, which is walking your dog.
Don't be so silly.
So, Gene, this is how easy it is to show. This is how easy it is to show an observation. See, you just go into your gallery and go, boom, there's your observation.
Yeah.
What are you hiding?
What is it an observation of?
Scotty, are you dumb, deaf, or blind? Like I don't know what's going on here when I just showed you an observation.
That makes us see too far.
Are you really dumb, Scotty? What do you think this was? What was on my screen? What did you think this was when I was showing this?
A cartoon.
It was somebody else's photo.
Yes.
So
it's actually from a documentary. It's from videos. It's from a Nikon. It's from a Nikon P900.
So
Just for context, before I actually started recording this video, Gene showed a screenshot from a conspiracy, Taboo Conspiracies YouTube video. That's actually definitely not any kind of documentary. It was Taboo Conspiracies trying to prove the curvature or no curvature of the Earth off of some wind turbines over the water. He claimed the claimed distances he claims and the altitude. I draw seriously into question. I don't think they're right. I think he's either lying about the distance or he's lying about his elevation. And Gene thinks that this proves there's no curvature. Now, he did this in my chat, and I showed him observations I did myself last year of wind turbines from UK over the Irish Sea. And the only thing is that I showed exactly where I was standing. You can see where I was standing. I showed exactly how the distances were. I showed exactly which one I was looking at. And I also showed that how what he showed me was stupid, and obviously we're much closer because ones I seen were further away. The distance that was claimed, I actually knew how far they were, and I showed that you can see the curvature of the Earth as the wind turbines going over the curvature. You can see on the horizon, and then start dropping off. It looks like they're actually going into the water. So he shut up pretty quick about that because I completely just debunked and falsified his whole type of conspiracies video. So yeah,
the NASA camera.
So this is from a telescope.
Dart,
right?
are you dumb? It's not a NASA camera. Why are you saying random hype man shit, bro? You're saying just dumb shit. The Christopher Columbus camera. You're talking about the Christopher. What are you talking about, my guy? You're just saying dumb shit.
No, Gene, in the classroom, we're trying to learn. Okay, Gene.
Stop saying dumb shit, Dart. You don't know numbers. You don't know shit, Dart. So quit being stupid. Ask questions. Humble yourself, clown.
You're just like one of them kids that throws chewing gum at people from the back of the class.
I just need you dimwits to know how much your magical ball curves per mile.
I know.
Hopefully your fantasy goes away.
Okay. So my observation height with the telescope.
But Gene, Santa Claus is coming tonight. I swear. That's how you guys sound to me.
Shush. I swear to God.
If you notice in this, Gene's scared of anybody else talking because he knows they're going to falsify all his premise and all his claims with empirical evidence. So he keeps talking over people because he's scared that he's going to look like a fool. But too late, Gene. You already look like a fool, and we can all see it.
He want to tell us about this. Go ahead. What you think? Go ahead.
Sure, I was talking then.
Dimension.
Pretty sure
didn't get enough attention as an adult.
So anyway, this is a telescope at the beach, 6 foot above sea level. Right, ship is 5 miles away, and there's over half of the hull of the ship missing.
I would not call the hull of the ship missing at all whatsoever. Are you blind, dumb, or deaf? What's going on here? That's not half of the hull.
It is half the hull, yeah.
It is not half of the hull.
And this is pretty much most of Gene's arguments is just nah. You can clearly see that at least half the hull up there from what the waterline is on that ship is missing from where you can see it on this observation from this distance. And I've shown a very similar observation, and then I actually showed where I went from higher altitude to lower altitude, and you can see how much difference there is of what you can see, and that's mainly due to the curvature of the Earth. Now, Gene has just ignored this, and it's the pretty much the same thing, nah, but that's all he's got, because he actually can't comprehend this or refuses to listen to it because it actually goes against his narrative that he likes to push and his delusional ideologies.
Okay, Scotty, let's look this up. What ship is this that you're looking at, and why don't you know?
Can Can you see the lettering on the side of the ship? Is actually
What ship is this? And why are you
supposed to be in the water? What do you think you're supposed to see?
Do you know what ship this is?
I can't hear what you're saying.
Do you mind pulling up a model of this ship, please? Do you know the ship number? You don't. You don't.
Yes, I do. No.
Okay. Now pull up the ship. Let's see the ship.
I'll show you now. Bear with me.
Right. Show us in scale how much half of that would be cut off. That's a pretty big top half if that's half.
No. So Gene, so you have to understand that half of the hull that you can see there is actually still water.
You said that already. I don't need you to repeat it. I need you to show me the boat is what I asked. Don't tell me anything else other than, Gene, this is the boat.
It's in the water, dude. What do you think?
Gene, do me a favor.
Scotty, you are ramping up showing what we're at. Sounds like,
so
right?
there's a lot of noise going on here. So Gene, don't talk at me with venom, okay? Because I won't listen to a fucking word you say.
Show me a boat.
You're sat there with somebody else's photo and you're demanding for me to show shit. Shut the fuck up.
That's actually a fair shout from Scotty there. All Gene showed was a screenshot from a conspiracy, from Taboo Conspiracy's video, from a place that Gene has never been, because in that video it was from the eastern coast of England. I think it was near Newcastle. Gene's never been there. He doesn't actually know any of that stuff is real, and yet he's questioning observations that Scotty himself has done. It was there, and he took these pictures. Even says what cameras use, the altitude, where they're standing, and what ship they're looking at. And yet Gene's is going to not the whole thing, even though Gene has not presented a single scrap of evidence that he's actually done himself. And all he's done is took a screenshot from another flat earther who was lying about his. I'm pretty sure was lying about his observations. So, and I'm going to probably do a video on that later on and look further into it, because something's definitely dubious there, and I have a propensity to be able to find these things, so we'll look and see.
Yeah, bro, I can show you the boats that I was showing earlier. What do you need?
You won't show me
what detail do you need? Hold on. What detail do you need? Because I can start showing you boats if you need to. What? Hold on, wait a minute. Look at this. Got a ship. I got the dimensions attached to it and the photo from the documentary. What else do you need? On the right-hand side, obviously it's a little grainy, but that is from the video of a P9000 zoomed in on a ship 20 miles away, of a ship that should be hidden by 228 feet of curvature if the Earth curves at 8 inches per mile squared. But as you can see here, we can see that entire ship. Allow me to continue then, since Scotty had some point of contention. But you know what, Scotty? Look at this, Scotty.
If you notice there, Gene Techno once again has made loads of claims and then instantly ran away from it before anybody could question him or break down everything that he said, and also flipped his image there, so that way nobody can actually analyze it and break it down and probably show where there's lies and stuff. So Gene's just trying to run away from this, hoping that nobody will question him. Mainly because he's used to flat Earth lives in which they just listen to everything Gene says and just drink the Kool-Aid and accept it all without questioning a single thing. And this is the problem with most flat earthers, is that they listen to other flat earthers and never question a single thing. Even if they know they're wrong, they'll just simply accept it and let them move on and just take it as gospel.
Scotty, I have a diagram. I also have a diagram of the boat that I was speaking of.
You seem to like talking so much, Gene.
Look at this. This is a diagram of the. This is a picture of the boat.
Gene, but
that's what I was hoping you would bring.
Wait a minute. So that photo you showed just then, right? That didn't have the elevation height in the photo. Did it?
Of which one? Oh yeah, it had the elevation height. Here's a little bit more information. Here's the elevation height in feet and kilometers, 3.5 feet.
Gene, where was the elevation height in the photo? I didn't see it.
It was a 3.5 foot observer height.
No, in the photo of the ship that you showed me 20 odd miles away. What was the elevation height, Gene?
It's 3.5. Do I need to repeat it 1,000 times to you? Why are you asking again?
No, go back to the last one again with the ship where you got the distance.
This one?
So what's the observation height there?
The observation for the 500th time, Scotty, you slow potato.
What is
3.5 fucking feet. How many times do I need to remind you?
I can't see it.
What would you expect to see? What would you expect to see?
We can't see yours either.
Well, so what would you expect to see right here?
So it says 70. I can't read it. It's small.
Okay. So Scotty, allow me to explain this to you, since you can't read it. Okay. So on the right, hold on. On the right-hand side is a picture. Right, that picture is a cropped shot from the video from the documentary of him taking the observation from a 3.5 foot observer height of this ship 20.8 miles away. Now, what do you?
Yet this is all claims that it was 3 feet away. It also claims that it was 20 odd miles away, and yet there's not a single bit of evidence to prove any of these claims. There's no evidence showing that it's 3 feet. There's nothing to even indicate that it was about 3 feet off. And is it 3 feet off the ground? And then what's the elevation on the ground that they're standing on? Because flat earthers tend to leave this, that they'll maybe count, like, say, a tripod they're standing on and say it was 5 feet off the ground. But they fail to mention that the fact is they were standing 20 feet elevation on a hill that was up from the beach when you're looking over water. And then they claim 20 miles because they just assume the distance without actually being able to measure it or prove the measurement or anything like that. That's why I like to use wind turbines, because they are stationary, they're fixed into the ground, and you can get a GPS location where you are and where they are. Because a lot of times they're listed on like Google Maps or somewhere, where you know where the wind farm is. It's offshore wind farms, and so you can measure and get maybe from where you are the closest position of the closer turbines, and then you get a fairly good idea of moving out how far the ones that further away are. So him assuming it's 20 miles away. No evidence proven that the boat was 20 miles away. Him saying this 3 feet off the ground, but yet there's no measurement, nothing showing even a GPS location to prove that maybe if he was off the beach, what the elevation of the ground is at the point. And there was nothing actually presented to show how high that the camera was actually off the ground. Nothing, because I've seen this and I've had videos in which they've claimed it's 3 feet off the ground. When we watch the video, you get a very clear indication that they show maybe the camera sitting on the ground, and then you can watch and see where they've actually picked it up and took a picture, and it wasn't 3 feet, but more like 6 feet off the ground. So you do have to watch Left Earth claims, because they'll claim one thing, and then they'll actually do something different. Or they'll claim it, but they'll actually never prove it because it's false. So watch Gene here, and notice that he's making loads of claims, but he has no way of substantiating it or showing any kind of evidence that his claims have any kind of validity to them.
What he's doing with the left-hand side, he's showing you the approximate amount of what this ship should be covered up. That bar, see the yellow and the black in the middle?
Can't see a thing.
Yeah.
Those represent stories to a building. So yeah. So that peak should be the only thing being seen.
That looks like.
But on the right-hand side, we can see the entire ship. We can see all the way to down the hull. It should.
But what height above sea level is he taking that photo?
Bro, if I have to tell you one more fucking time, take a guess. Take a guess.
No, we don't know.
Guess what number I'm gonna say, Scotty?
Gene, can you tell me the name of the documentary?
It's on Dr. John. Here, I'll show it to you. 1 second.
Where does it say? 3 foot above sea level.
Man, I'm almost tired.
Here. I got to show you guys this real quick. This is the YouTube channel, and here's one of his playlists about refraction and laser divergence. You'll probably learn something if you can make it through this. Right?
Laser divergence.
I know you're used to looking at Professor Dave, but look at a real doctor's shit. Now, 1 second. Hold on. I'm going to show you.
He's not a doctor. He's not a doctor of anything. He's a dumbass YouTuber.
No, he's actually a doctor.
No,
you're a goofball to say he's not, but he is. He's credentialed.
Is he a doctor like the doctor that told you that a buoy at 5 miles?
I don't even know why you're lying. You don't have to lie.
Flat Earth.
You don't have to lie.
Disproves the globe.
I looked up that YouTuber, Dr. Dr. John D, and he doesn't say anything about being a doctor or anything. He isn't making claims to being a doctor. He hasn't shown any credentials. And so I call into question his credentials of being a doctor of any kind of STEM field or physics or any science field whatsoever. I have heard sometimes people call themselves doctors, and then they have maybe like a master's in like something like computer science or theology or something like that. But that's somebody who may have an education in a subject that has this, and this is not their field whatsoever. So unless somebody wants to correct me in the comments or something and show evidence of where this person actually has put their credentials up or anything like that, then let me know. But I did a little bit of research and I couldn't find anything, so I'm going to say that's I don't believe that, and I have not found any evidence to support that claim. So I think this is just Gene Techman just making claims again because the guy put Dr. ahead of his in his YouTube name, and that doesn't say anything really. So even when he signs his name off on his YouTube, he just puts John. And anybody who think high credentials would put Dr. John and then put maybe a BSA or ML or master, or whatever they would put at the end, because usually a lot of them are very proud of that, and they want to make sure people know they have the credentials. So that's suspicious to me.
Don't lie. You're lying for no reason.
You just said a buoy
lying,
5 miles out on the water disproves the globe.
It does.
It does.
You're just not smart enough to figure that out, bro. I can't help you.
30 inches of drop at 5 miles.
You do not witness water curving, sir. Think about that.
Hey, who said that?
Yeah, we do.
That's completely false. Somebody, that fellow there, I can't remember who that was there. I think that's sea level. Yeah, I've seen this. It says we don't witness water curving. We witness water curving all the time. Look at something as simple as raindrops. They're spherical in nature. Take your garden hose, turn it on the full, hold it at a 45-degree angle. You'll watch it like this, and the water will curve. Water curves all the time. Water is subject to forces acting upon it. I have a video I put up in which I showed water, water balloon. And when I pop the balloon, all the balloon goes away, and the water still maintains the shape of the water balloon because there's the forces acting upon it, and due to the surface tension of the water is held its shape, and as it fell down, and then because the balloon going, it did pull some of the water out, so you see a little bit of splashes because some of the water was adhering to the balloon, but most of it stayed that shape, and you drop down, and because gravity was obviously taken over from that until it hit the water on the ground, and then it spread out because the gravitational pull of all the water then made all the water to spread out and take the shape of what it was on below, but that's only because the forces acting upon all that water. So yes, we see water curving all the time. And I have videos showing large bodies of water, like the Irish Sea, in particular in my videos, curving, as well as I also use ones over a place called Carmarthen Bay, which is just goes off the Atlantic Ocean, and you can see curvature of that too, as you can not see 15 miles away. You could not see the different cliffs and stuff that went down to a beach where the town was above. So, and that's quite a bit of distance you cannot see up. And even then you couldn't see some of the buildings and stuff because they'd be blocked by the curvature of the water. So check my videos out. They're the top posted on my TikTok, or they're down on my playlist if you're looking at this on YouTube.
It's only 30 inches after 5 miles. Who's the moron that said that? Who said that?
I did, you fucking idiot.
Okay, do me a favor, moron. Go open a globe curvature calculator and then plug that number in and then apologize for being a moron.
And calling people names.
Oh, no. I'm gonna make a fool out of you on live for being a moron.
There it is, dumbass.
Okay, show us.
There it is, shit for brains.
What are you looking at?
32 inches.
What are you looking at? Still.
32 inches. Oh, look at 32
Hold on. So you...
Oh, damn. Gene Techman just got made a fool of. Now watch as he's going to try to panic and yap and talk his way out and try to backtrack, and he's going to try to somehow make up some excuses and stuff like that. But he just got exposed. So Gene, being as confident and as arrogant as he is just seeing that, oh, darn, somebody actually went and called him out on his BS, and he's been exposed. So let's watch the chaos ensue.
You have an observer height of 6 miles. That's a 6 foot observer height, goofball. Okay. That's a 6 foot observer height, goofball.
We don't care.
That should
be a 0.
Said, Gene.
That should be 0.
Talk afterwards.
Gene, that's what you said, dumbass. You said a 6 foot observer height of 5 miles.
I never once said 6 foot.
Okay, what height do you want it then?
We're talking about Dr. John D's observations.
You said I could walk to the lake.
You're talking about the buoy. You're talking about the buoy.
You said I could walk to the lake with a 6 foot observer height if I see a buoy 5 miles away.
No.
Just FYI, that's exactly what Gene said. Gene was talking about, seeing a boat that's further out, which was just a little outboard motorboat on, I think it's the same one that the Ancients of Light likes to use, and he said a buoy 5 miles away. And then he got exposed. But yes, exactly what Gene said. I know he's trying to claim he didn't, but everybody heard it. And he's panicking because he's realized he just got called out.
No, let me get my numbers right for you.
You're dumb confused. Liar.
What I said was 6 miles and 4 miles away, dumb bitch. That's what I said.
You didn't.
Yeah, I said 4 miles. I did.
Gene,
how far can is the horizon from a 6 foot observer height? 3 miles, correct?
It depends.
No,
on what you're
depend.
saying.
This is geometry.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
No, and you want to know the math here? Let me share with you the math, dumb fuck. You take.
And Gene, like every other flat earther, ignores the variable of atmospheric refraction and the fact light passing through our atmosphere, because let's just face it, the Earth has an atmosphere, or else we wouldn't be here. And it has a gradient to it, in which then bends light, and the refractive index of it bends light down. So objects that are far away, because light is going through a lot more of the atmosphere, and so then there's more refraction that will happen, depending on what you're viewing it over. So like over water, a lot of times, water's cooler, so then the air closer to the water is colder, so it's denser than the air further up, whereas as it goes further up, it's being heated by the sun and stuff. And so then you have a greater refractive index over water, which then bends the light down, causing objects to appear higher up. So you actually will see the horizon further because it's actually being brought up higher due to the refractive index. And so if you had the geometry of the Earth with no atmosphere whatsoever, then from a 6-foot observer, it's about 3 miles. But we have an atmosphere, and we always have an atmosphere. So it's not actually 3 miles. What we see from a 6-foot observer, we'll actually see further because the horizon will be brought up further away, and so we'll see further than the 3 miles. But Gene likes to ignore that and just pretends the atmosphere doesn't exist. Well, also, Gene's favorite equation, which is 8 inches per mile squared, is actually the drop off of an imaginary tangent that is taken from the ground at sea level and goes straight out, and then you measure the drop. And it doesn't take atmospheric refraction into account whatsoever. So it's a rough estimate that can give you fairly accurate to a point, or at least give you an idea of different things of what a drop off a tangent would be on a curved surface. But it has its limitations, being the fact that it has to only be used at certain places from certain observations, and doesn't take the atmosphere into account whatsoever. So as soon as you put any kind of altitude to it, then it makes the 8 inches per mile squared is a lot more less accurate, and you have to use other calculations or other formulas that take that into account, which unfortunately Gene refuses to believe.
The square root of the observer's height in feet, so you're 6 foot, your square root of 6 is 2.4494, and then you would multiply that by 1.225.
Yeah, but Gene, that
now tell me the answer is not 6.
Curve, doesn't it?
Right?
That takes into account the curve.
Tell me the answer is not 6. Tell me the answer is not 6, right? The answer is 6.
You didn't say the...
So let me be clear. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. So what I said was, all I need is 4 miles. Why? Because from a 6-foot observer height, the globe horizon should be 3 miles away. So if I can see a buoy 6 miles away from a 6-foot observer height, I would debunk the globe. Why?
Except
because that buoy
doesn't, you fucking dumbass.
We can see way beyond that. We can see way beyond that. Way.
It doesn't, you moron. Because where the horizon is and how much is obscured behind the horizon aren't the same fucking number, you dumbass.
What are you talking about?
That is correct, because what you're not taking into account, obviously, one is the observer height, and two, the height of the object you're looking at. So you have to think to yourself, would you see 30 inches missing off something that is, say, 4 or 5 miles away? Probably not. Not even if you had your magical P1000. You wouldn't be able to distinguish if there's 30 inches or, be maybe 3 or 4 feet off that object. You probably wouldn't be able to distinguish it very well. Not until you're getting into maybe double that. If you're getting into like 8, 10, 11, 12 feet, then you might be able to realize that there's something missing off the object if you know the object well enough. But yeah, at that distance, and if you have a very tall object, you're still going to see the object, and you may not be able to distinguish that there is a bit that might be obscured by the horizon and the curvature of the Earth. Also, on the side note, if you have a crisp horizon, then that's due to the curvature of the Earth, and that falsifies flat Earth. If the Earth was truly flat, and was a flat plane as Earth's claim, then there'd be no horizon, but the land, or where we're looking at, would just keep heading off, ramping up, and keep going and going and going and going. And when slowly we start to get more and more hazed as you get more and more atmosphere between you, and things would just get hazier and hazier and hazier, but you'd still see the whole entire object. They just eventually would just get where they get more and more obscured by the horizon slowly as things go really far away. The fact you have a crisp horizon is due to the curvature of the Earth and falsifies flat Earth. But Flerfs never admit this, or would they ever think of this, because they're not very bright.
Did you miss the part where 6-foot observer only seeing 3 miles out and seeing something past that debunks the geometric curve of the Earth?
Except it doesn't. Again, wow. He said seeing a buoy at 4 miles out,
right,
from a 6-foot observer height debunks the curve.
Are you going to just talk over? You're going to.
You're right. It doesn't curve. You're right.
Okay.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't debunk the curve.
So why wouldn't
it doesn't debunk the curve? Because a buoy is taller than 24 inches.
So the other flavor thread in here called sea level, and he's spelled it CEE level, is chiming in because Gene has gone off the app. And Gene does it a few times too. This live, he comes and goes, comes and goes. I don't know if he's looking stuff up, Googling stuff or whatever. I think he says he's walking his dog as well. So, it is. But yeah, sea level, he's even more stupid than Gene Techman. And he just kind of nods everything because that's all he's got. I don't think I've ever seen him present any evidence. All he has is just nah and insults. He doesn't actually bring much to this conversation. He just asks a bunch of stupid questions over and over again, filling time until Gene comes back, and he sits there quietly because he knows he can't really defend his delusional ideologies. At least Gene tries.
So this is the measurement of the ship that I showed. And I showed it.
We see more than the buoy.
Don't know if I can get a big box for a second just to show the measurements that the Gene demanded.
Yeah.
We got observations of 1 foot observer seeing things like 11 miles out. Horizon being 11 miles out.
No, we don't. That is a complete lie and false. And probably just something somebody told him once and he's believed it without questioning it. But no, you don't see anything from a 1 foot observer. You're not seeing things 11 miles out. That's just a complete out lie, but it's sea level and that's all he has. He just parrots bullshit.
Okay, see.
So this is the actual...
Again,
it's okay for me, but not for you because you still
seeing things isn't determinative because
yes, it is because your globe has to.
No, it isn't because you didn't say how high the thing is that you're seeing.
Oh my goodness!
I can see New York City when I drive to New York City. I can see New York City from 30 miles away. That doesn't.
The problem is that you never shut up.
The problem is you don't.
The problem is you never shut up. See, that's the problem is you never shut up. See.
Hey man,
so this is the thing, right?
Man,
so
can I just kick him anytime I want? This dude here, man, is a weirdo, man.
So sea level and
bringing you back. I don't even want to disrespect your thing like that, though.
No,
you know,
man.
It's on you. It's up to you. You're a weirdo.
Listen, I already dropped it several times.
I ain't mad. You good for entertainment,
Somebody
man.
keeps bringing it back.
Yeah, you do.
He good for entertainment, I guess. He's a nutcase, if you ask me.
Can we discuss this? Right, so let's face it though, right? If you were really truthers, then you'd be paying attention to the measurements, right? You'd be writing them down, and then when I...
Scotty's 100% correct there. If these people were actual truthers and were just after the truth, then they would sit and listen and take everything in, and then go maybe look at it and discern and go through the data, or they would have empirical evidence to back up their claims, but they never have either one. And Sea Level himself, you can see what he's doing is he's just trying to talk over everybody because he's scared that his ideologies and everything, his premise and his delusional fantasies are going to be crushed here, because they are. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of these flat earthers, especially on TikTok, they don't want pushback. They don't want to actually know the truth or to see evidence and facts and logic because they're not interested in it. They're not truthers. They're just in a delusional cult, and they just want to stick with their ideologies that they have been told to believe by their flat earth daddies.
I show you this. When I show you this next photo now.
No, you don't understand the measurements.
You don't understand.
That's the problem we have here. You don't understand perspective. You don't understand the way your eyes work. You don't understand your globe model.
Yeah,
you don't understand the geometric curve of the Earth that you have to have for 24,901 ball. That's the problem.
Just for 2 minutes, if you could stop flapping the gums.
Yeah,
pay attention
because you don't understand. It's like a waste of time.
So pay attention to how much of the ship you can see in this photo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pay attention to how...
And that's a problem there. A lot of flat earthers claim they think they know all these things about how your eyes work and how perspective works and stuff. But when you ask them, show them how perspective works, then they just shout, "Nah, you're wrong, you don't know." Because what they believe in is magic. And they don't really believe in perspective. They claim it's perspective, but it's been dubbed by a lot of people in the debunking community as Flerf perspective. And it's called Flerf perspective because it's special to the flat earth on how they claim perspective works. It's not perspective, and if you looked at how perspective works, it falsifies many, many of their claims. But they say this word anyways over and over again, thinking it's a gotcha. And so it's a very unique way this works. It's called a magical rescuing device that they use for explains sunsets or how boats go over the horizon. And it's pretty much their idea of how Flerf perspective works is that the bottom of things disappears faster due to convergence, and it converges faster. As it moves away, the bottom of things goes further away than the tops of the things, and so we can't see it because they claim that as things move away, we can't see it. But as it moves away, you can't see the bottom first. And so the only way that could work is if the bottom goes further. So it must hit some sort of like wormhole or warp technology in which it stretches the bottom out really fast, really far, and then as the thing goes further away, then it works its way up to the bottom. So like think like Star Trek when the Enterprise hits warp, and you know how it's kind of stretches out and the bottom back end catches up. Well, think that except for it starts at the bottom from their perspective and works its way up. And so that's how they explain everything and how it works. It moves away from you and you can't see the bottom first, and then eventually it works its way up into the top. So it's very magical and very cute, but completely wrong and doesn't follow any kind of factual reality or science. So I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Flerf. How does Flerf perspective work?
How much of that ship you can see, right?
Most of it.
Yeah. And then pay attention to this photo. Bear with me a second. And kaboom. So.
Oh yeah, where's the orange bit gone? Oh my goodness, it's magic.
And also notice that the lettering is slightly stretched as well, so that's a tiny bit of refraction.
I never crash out anymore. Y'all can't get that out of me.
Or whatever that is.
Y'all weaken this argument.
So where the fuck is the rest of the ship then? Sea level?
You don't know what's happening. It's just in the water.
How can it? No. Can't you see there's like the rest of the ship fucking missing?
It's in the water.
Never.
The part that's supposed to be in the water, it's in the water.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Why? So
floating in water.
So is this not in the water then? Is this not in the water?
So what?
Why is that line so flat?
Yeah,
so
man.
Scotty, why do you so selective? Like I can show you something, you go
yeah, because that's in the water.
But then when you show something and we don't see the bottom, like dirt.
Just note there, Scotty showed a close-up image of that exact boat, and you can see all that brown on the bottom and everything. But that boat was sitting in the water. That was in docks. That boat was sitting in water, moored up to something, and was floating along happily. And then when he shows the boat far away, is the distance he showed, and you see how you don't see any of that brown, and then you don't see half of that blue going up to just below that the lettering on the side of the boat, which is actually quite high up on the hull. So like Scotty said, you can't see about half the hull. That looks about right. You can't see about half that hull because that lettering is really high up on there. It's just below where the edge of the side, because obviously the hull goes up a bit more higher. You don't go over the edge. So that's about right. But these flat earthers will just try to ignore all that because it kind of falsifies their whole premise, and they're just going to try to cope and run and duck and dodge and try to change the subject.
Stop.
Why is the ground coming
because
up?
you haven't showed us anything, Gene.
Stop.
Because you can't even do basic math, as I just showed.
The sea level is this ship not in the water then?
But if I'm showing you that we could see turbines and all the bottoms, then why are you trying to show the ship like this changes something? It doesn't change anything. We still see the bottom of the turbines.
No.
Like I don't even know why this is a counter argument. That looks like a ship in the water on flat water.
It's further away from you. Of course, you're not going to see through the water. It's being blocked by the horizon line right there, dude. What
refraction.
Did you notice that? What the sea level said? It can't see through the water because it's being blocked by the horizon due to the curvature of the Earth. So sea level pretty much just admitted that the curvature of the Earth was blocking the bottom half of that hull, like Scotty said 20, 30 minutes ago.
I thought refraction. You get distortion right on the surface.
In the water.
It's always level.
So why
you get distortion right on the surface,
level at the surface, y'all.
Get over it.
And
which end of my phone works better?
Scotty, can you see a sidewalk a mile away? Scotty, can you see a sidewalk a mile away?
Listen.
Scotty, I'm asking a question. Can you see a sidewalk a mile away?
What the fuck has that got to do with anything?
Angular resolution has everything to do with it.
I don't think angular resolution, in the context Gene's using it, is working for him the way he thinks it's working. I think he's trying to claim he can't see it because of, I don't know, because he's mentioned a sidewalk, which obviously is the ground. Can you see a sidewalk a mile away? We can't see it because angular resolution. Angular resolution is pretty much perspective, and it has to do with the fact is that we can't see it because something has gotten too small that either your eyes or your camera or something is not able to distinguish it or be able to pick it up. So something gets far enough away, our eyes cannot resolve it. It's not big enough for our eyes to be resolved. the objects, or say like a camera or a telescope. Something's gotten that far, and because it's gotten that far, it's just we're not able to resolve the size of it because of its distance. But if something's blocking it, that's also something. So what Gene's trying to say here is, can we not see a sidewalk a mile away? Well, we're standing on the ground, and obviously you have can we see something that's flat on the ground a mile away, or the ground itself? It's not the angular resolution. It's the fact is that it's just simply the fact that we're standing and we're not tall enough. Could I see the sidewalk a mile away if I was 100 feet up at the same location? Yeah, 100%, because I'd be able to look down and have a more and have an angle that I'd be able to resolve it much more easier. So I don't think he's working. That's works for him the way he thinks he's working. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't understand what angular resolution means. I think he's meaning the angle of what we're looking at. That's the angular resolution. That's just simply angle of sight, a line of sight.
Right. If that was the case, then why are none of those turbines missing then?
Angular resolution doesn't make things disappear from the bottom up like the sun.
Absolutely it does. That's why it's an angle, you clown.
Yeah. Gene doesn't know what angular resolution is. That's not angular resolution, you absolute bell end. So, yeah, I was right. Gene thinks angular resolution has to do with the angle in which you look at things from. And that's not it. So yeah, Gene, showing your stupidity, as we all thought.
So why are we looking at the bottom
actually,
of those?
No. So this
Gene, all
crack
you gotta
right
do
this crack right here,
Gene,
right?
let me tell you.
Now,
here, I'm gonna tell you how to win the Nobel Prize.
You guys crack me to
Get the best camera.
Can I see this crack a mile away? Yes or no? Can I see this crack a mile away? Yes or no? And why not?
Get the best telescope.
Let's walk away from it. Can I still see the crack?
Gene, what the fuck are you on about, mate?
Where's the crack?
Brother, leave the crack alone. It's not worth it.
Why don't I see the crack anymore?
You liked it so much, you tried to smoke it.
This is called angular resolution.
No, Gene, you absolute fucking dumbass. Angular resolution is the fact is that the angle which your eyesight works, that for you to see that it's gotten too small, that you cannot resolve it anymore, and that has to do with the it's essentially perspective. So that's not angular resolution. You can't see that crack anymore because that crack was only a thin little crack here. You got too far away that you just weren't able to resolve it with your camera or with your eyes. That's all that was. And maybe if the crack was if it was uneven a little bit, then one side would be higher up, you wouldn't be able to see the crack because the ground in front of it is blocking it because it's higher up. So yeah, that's really stupid, Gene. That's really stupid.
That's angular resolution. Now, if I get closer to the ground, right? Look at this. I get closer to the ground. The further something goes away from me, right? It's going to converge into that horizon point. I'm going to see it disappear from the bottom up.
No, you won't. If that path was perfectly flat, which it probably isn't, because most asphalt ways like that or any walkways tend to have a crown to them to allow for drainage off each side, so you don't get massive puddles and stuff on there. It tends to be built up. Let's say it's built up in the middle of it, higher up, and it's usually higher up than the grass anyways to allow for drainage. But no, you wouldn't disappear bottom up. Now, on regular day. Now, if that pavement was really hot and you put it away, then you might get a bit of a miraging effect, like a Fata Morgana or something, in which then you actually invert, and then you'll have the heat, and because the warmer air that's right above that pavement, then it may then cause a bit of a miraging effect that can then sometimes it'll start to distort and obscure that because of the distortion of the light being bent, and it's bending the light and it's weird and doing some weird things. But you would see that because it'd start getting more and more distorted. And you'd see the miraging effect as well as you see. Obviously, it looks like water and stuff on there, but that's not the effect. And that's only when you have a temperature inversion, which is not regularly seen on over water and stuff like that, and only on maybe hot desert asphalt or something like that. You might see these effects when the sun the middle of the day when it's hot out. But then when it cools, then you'll see the opposite effect. So yeah, so that's not right, actually, and it wouldn't disappear bottom up. It wouldn't converge into, only because perspective and angular resolution, that you wouldn't be able to resolve that items to see them as it was further and further away. Now, bigger item, then angular resolution would be able to see it further because you will resolve it longer, and it has to do with the light angles coming from that and coming into and hitting your eyes and stuff like that. So yeah, another stupid, derpy thing that Gene's trying to claim is a gotcha. It really isn't, because it's just down to the fact of him demonstrating his misunderstanding of these simple concepts.
Right. You sure about that?
I'm positive.
Yes.
Except you did it.
And you know what? Also, here, how about this? Look at this.
That's not what angular
Now look at this.
resolution is,
Now
dumbass.
this is the pavement, right?
Gina, you're really on grass doing this
Really
business. And I just showed you something I took myself.
This is the pavement, right?
If it's angular resolution, why can we still read like the letters and shit on the ship?
You might learn and figure it out. I promise. Wait a minute. 1 second. 1 second.
Look at this. Now that I'm on the graph,
big box.
if I were to walk across the street, right, and now that I'm on this like decline here, right, about an inch or two, that's going to kind of be a hill.
Respect the big box.
So anything that goes in that direction, right, it's going to disappear from the bottom up. Why? Because this is blocking. So imagine a wave on the ocean.
Because it's curved.
Or a swell.
Congratulations,
right?
you just
guys know
proved
what
the curve.
Swells are,
Gene.
right?
Yes. He just proved that path is curved from side to side. And also, he's trying to claim something about the grass. You can't see it because the grass is blocking bottom up. As he's laying down, belly down in the grass with his camera down in the grass. Now, I think he's trying to claim that something about waves on the over that water that was blocking that boat. For one, you can look and see that there was no big waves because big waves tend to have white caps. You can see that water looks fairly calm. Also, the waves would have to be at the level of which you're viewing from. So if you're standing 6 feet up, those waves need to be at least 6 feet high to block your view to something. If you can see over top of those waves aren't blocking your view. And then if there were big waves, that boat would actually be listing up and down. It'd be right because it's still that wave. If big waves can come up, that boat's going to go up and it's going to come down. You're going to see that boat listing and it's going to come around. And so then you're going to get all sorts of different views and stuff. But like I said, looking just at that picture and looking at the fact that there seems to be absence of any large waves that would be causing that kind of effect, especially standing on the beach where you'd have where the waves do tend to get higher up because the further out we have deeper water, the waves aren't near this high as quickly. When you get closer to the land, then the waves kind of come up because there's less depth, and all the depth's going to come up, push this water up, and you get the rolling waves, and you get the white caps and stuff like that, which aren't in that picture. So Gene's just clutching at straws, hoping that something sticks.
Yes, you know what another word for swell is?
At the same time, man. Stop it, man.
Sea level, shut up.
If this was somebody walking,
tell your mama that. Stop it.
They would walk away. You would see them disappear from the bottom up. See how you can't see his shoes anymore from here?
Yeah, because
see these feet?
Curved.
See these little toes?
Right? Curve, so that's
you can't see the feet.
Once again, another stupid and pointless example by Gene Techman. One, his fingers are in the grass, so you're not going to see them at the bottom because they're in the grass. And two, that ground isn't flat. It's going to have bumps and humps and bumps and stuff like that. And you're also got your camera right down on the ground in the grass. So if the only way you're going to claim that for that boat is if you take that camera and put it right down on the surface of the water or in the water, and then the water will be blocking the camera. But yeah, Gene, like I said, he's just slinging shit and hoping something sticks. But these guys are seeing straight through him as well as I am.
The feet from here.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So hey, would you agree that the ocean is flat?
It's flat. AF. Yes.
So that doesn't really fit with what you're saying.
Yes, it
does. If it's curved and we have swells, that makes sense. But if it's flat and you guys say water always finds its level,
okay, so
then
he's just pointing out the common fallacy that flat earthers just simply don't understand the difference between level and flat. They're different words because they're different things. And the ocean is level to the curvature of the earth, and but it's not flat. The ocean is never flat.
You curve at a certain rate. You do need to understand
it's relatively level. Do you know the term relatively level? Does that make sense? Water finds its level. There's waves, there's swells, but it's relatively level. All of the levels of the sea are the same. Sea level. Everywhere you go on Earth, it's the same level.
Once again, Gene's completely wrong. Are the seas all the same level across the oceans? And that is no, they are definitely not. As you can see here from NOAA, the one side of the United States, I think the eastern coast of the United States is a different height and level compared to the west coast of the United States. And then you also have you also have tides. So you have different tides, let's say on one side. So maybe like on one side of the Atlantic, you have high tide, and the other side will have low tide. And then it just change around, as well as you have, when you see the sea levels, it's their average heights And then you also have local heights, which is just taken from a point on the land, and then you just take an average compared to high and low tides. Just have an average.
Flat.
I mean, it's not because of the tides.
Wait, so check this out.
Here, take another algae.
It's not curving at the rate it needs to. What part of that is hard to understand?
Just like the concept.
It is.
I don't understand why they can't grasp
So you
the
agree
concept.
that it does curve,
They're
just
like,
not at the
but
right
it still
rate.
curves. It just might be
There's
a
waves. There's waves, so
Curve at
that
a
means
certain
it
rate,
curves
you have
around
a
the
ball.
ball.
Well, no kidding, Marty.
Wow. This is weird.
Hey, if you're gonna say that there's waves, that means the Earth's not a sphere then, because it's a globular googly goo.
Listen, all you guys have to do.
It's not a perfect sphere. It's a gobbly googly goo because there's waves.
All you guys have to do is zoom the sun back in 10 minutes after sunset.
Astronomy is not geology. No wonder you're confused.
Dude,
Oh yeah, Gene loves to run away from any of these things. Anything to do. I brought flight routes in our DMs back and forth, and he ran away from that too because he says flight routes don't prove the curvature of the Earth. I'm like, dude, literally fly over the surface of the Earth, and the measure the altitude of the flights is taken from the surface of the Earth, and he just didn't want to deal with that because all Southern flight routes completely falsify his premise because he subscribes to Gleason's map. But he says I love the whole astronomy doesn't prove the shape of the Earth. All they brought up was sunsets. Sunsets and sunrises falsify the flat Earth because they're impossible. They can't work. I think Gene tries to claim that something like the sun goes to a point and moves away, but a simple solar filter can completely disprove that. But I just think it's funny that he runs away as soon as you mention anything to do with celestial observations or flight routes.
all you have to do is raise an elevation for that.
You guys are so
but you're saying the sun doesn't. You're saying the sun doesn't disappear from the bottom up because it's going over the horizon.
Hey, doctor, I'm having these chest problems.
When
Do you mind looking at my big toe?
elevation.
That's how you sound.
It's not curving away from you like a ball should.
It is though.
It's not, dude. It looks flat. The higher you get,
here's the problem though.
Flat.
You don't. I know.
And sea level is one of these people that denies any of the weather balloons that were sent up to high altitude or the high altitude rockets that had non-fisheye lenses, rectilinear lens. Like I think Kip Bogart has sent his up that had a specifically selected rectilinear lens that had no barrel distortion. Mr. Sensible sent his up that had a rectilinear lens, and he actually had two pieces of string going across to show that it was perfectly straight, and you can see the curvature of the Earth. And then obviously you have things like the Verta Industries. They do their thing. They have those crystals that they put up a space probe up, orbits around, they grow these crystals, and then they bring them back to Earth. But they always put a camera on, and it has a straight line, goes here, here, and goes up here, and you can see the curvature of the Earth between them. So that's not fisheye lens, or else those straight lines would be distorting, and they're not. As well as you see things like Blue Origins. They send up theirs all the time. I think they're on the flight 30 something or other, 35 or 36. And then you see ones like SpaceX. They had just had their Starship 10 went up and successful finally, didn't up and explode, so that's cool. And but they also showed loads of really cool observations, and you can tell there was a non-fisheye lens, and it showed there's some that were fisheye lens because they don't care what Flerf have to say. They're looking for what's going on with the rockets, but they had I think one that actually was it didn't have barrel distortion, and it still showed curvature of the Earth. Yeah, he'll just deny all those because that's all they want to do. The only time the Flerf is accepting those is when it has a fisheye lens and it's below the center of the frame. So that way it does what fisheye lens is going to barrel this way below the frame. By a certain point, it'll actually flatten the curve out, and then it goes lower. It'll actually start to concave. So then they always like to pause it right there where it's distorting the curvature to go flatten out a bit before it goes concave, and they'll pause there and then claim that that's the showing the flatness of the Earth. That's the only time is when they have a barrel distorted lens that's sitting in the right perfect position to fit their narrative. This is just what flat earthers do.
I do. Flat. It looks flat because you're small and the Earth is big.
That's what you've been brainwashed to believe. I'm trying to break you out of that hypnosis.
I'm so hungry. I think I'm going to go on a bike ride.
The world is big. Are you saying the world is not big?
So again, like
whether
you guys
it be
zoom the sun
flat
back
or
in
round,
after
it's
sunset,
big.
if it's not disappearing behind the curve.
Count, you ever had a soup sandwich?
Just stand up.
You ever had a soup sandwich
I heard
before?
you say it's not. Why can't you zoom it back in?
You can.
Flerfs, you can't. I've tried several times. You can't zoom the sun back in once it's set. Going higher up in altitude is because you're seeing further over the curvature of the Earth. But that's because the Earth's a globe or a sphere. But you can't zoom it back in once it's set. You can't just use zoom. Sorry, but that's never happened and never will.
So why has no Flerf ever done that?
We have.
You haven't. You haven't zoomed the sun back in after sunset.
Yes, we have.
Well, follow me. I'll send you a bunch
Where?
of videos.
Show me the video.
I could send you video.
Show me the video.
Good. Send me to it right now. Show me.
Yeah, go ahead and DM me. I'll send it to you.
Hey, Gene,
look it up. Google that. Google that.
Since
you want to
If
be
you
like
care,
that, Google
DM
it
me
real quick.
and I'll send it to you. It's easy peasy, bro.
Right.
You ask for something like, show me a seagull. I can show you a seagull.
You have not zoomed the
Show
sun
me a
back
picture
in
of
after
you.
sunset.
Yeah,
You don't gotta lie to Flerf.
No offense.
Not a hard thing. Easy. I got you.
So why haven't you done it?
Just send it
It's
to me
been
DM and I'll send it to you.
plenty of times, sir.
Like, I just don't know why I keep having to repeat myself. I swear I repeat myself 5 times. I say the same thing. Show me. Okay, send me a DM and I'll see it to you. And then you'll ask again. Show
Except
me.
you won't.
And then I'll say, send me a DM.
Now you're saying what he won't do. Do your part.
You won't.
That's
Do
called
your
that's a poisoning the well fallacy. Stop it. You guys are so illogical.
Challenge him.
Gene won't. And he won't because there's no video of that. Now, what they try to do is that they do a video which has no solar filter, just using a regular camera, and then they claim that the sun's set, and then they zoom it back in. But all it is just simply the camera's it's just changing the exposure, and it's bringing it down. So as the sun's coming down, this thing's going to a point where all it's doing is that it's going deeper behind more and more. It could be a little bit of cloud cover there, or some smog. And so what's happening is in the sun's the glare off the sun is being reduced and filtered out a bit, and then the camera's also changing the aperture to account for that. And so they say it's going to a point, and then they try to say they're zooming it back in, but they're not. That's not how it works. So Gene's making a claim, but I can tell you 100% fact that there's no video out there of the sun setting behind the horizon and then somebody zooming it back in. But if any flat earther want to tag me in that, that'd be awesome, because I always use some more content. Because I know it's just going to be bullshit, and it's going to be something where it's going to have hashtag #GodLightOfFlerf. But hey, I'm always willing to look at your evidence. All right, that's about it. About done here. So pretty much this video was quite an embarrassment for Gene Techman and C Level, as I actually call himself. And it's just a lot of derp, but it's quite funny to watch. So I thought I'd put this up. So yeah, there you are. So remember, people, Earth's definitely a globe. Space is real, but don't forget, stay curious. I'll see you again. Thanks for watching.